In this video, we're going to be solving absolute value equations. So let's go ahead and let's do a few examples. So in this first example, we have the absolute value of x plus 8 equals the absolute value of 2x plus 1. Notice that here we have two absolute values, one on the left and one on the right. Right? One on the left and one on the right. So what we're going to do is we're going to be taking the inside of our first absolute value, that x plus 8, and we're going to set it equal to the inside of our second absolute value. And the first time we do this, it's going to look just as it is. But the second, we're going to have to do this twice. So the second time we do it, let me just move this over really quick. There we go. But the second time that we do it, like our first one's not going to change, but we're going to have to negate our second one. All right, so let's work on the problem on the left first. So x plus 8 equals 2x plus 1. And so we're going to solve for x here. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract x from both sides. That's going to give me 8 equals 2 minus 1 is a 1, so x plus 1. I'll subtract 1 from each side and get 7 equals x. And that's going to be my first solution. And then on this other side, I'm going to have to distribute that negative sign first. Now, the biggest mistake that people make is forgetting about this negative symbol right there. They forget about it and they don't do anything with it. So don't forget that you need that negative sign and you need to distribute it. So what we really have is x plus 8 equals a negative 2x minus 1. And again, we're going to try and solve for x. So I'm going to move the negative 2x over to the other side by adding it. And that's going to leave me with a 3x plus 8 is a negative 1. Subtract 8 from both sides. 3x equals negative 9. Then we're going to divide both sides by 3 and get x equals negative 3. And that's going to be my second answer. So here I have my two answers. Let's take a look at our next example. This one is similar to what we just did, except this time there's a 3 out in the front. So what do we do with that? Well, let's take a look. So we have our first, we have our second. So we're going to go ahead here, and it's going to work similar to what we just have done. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to have our 3 out in the front. Then we're going to take that first piece, okay, so times x minus 4, and we're going to set that equal to our 2x plus 5. And remember, the first time, it's normal. But the second time, because we have to do it twice, we need to put a negative sign in the front of that 2x plus 5. All right, so we're going to begin by distributing our 3, and that's going to give us 3x minus 12 equals 2x plus 5. Then we're going to subtract 2x from both sides, leaving me with x minus 12 is 5. Then I'm going to add 12 to both sides and get x equals 17. And that's going to be my first answer. And then I need to go do my second problem. So I'm going to distribute the 3, and that's going to give me a 3x minus 12. But I also need to make sure I distribute my negative sign, which is going to give me a negative 2x minus 10. So I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to move my negative 2x over to my 3, but this time I'm going to add it because the opposite of subtracting is adding. So those are able to cancel out. So I have 5x minus 12 equals negative 10. Then I can add 12 to both sides, and we get 5x equals 2. Divide both sides by 5, and I'm going to get that my next answer is x equals 2/5. And now we have our two answers, x equals 17 and x equals 2/5.